Hey there, we're Sarah and Justin from Wake Up to Freedom, and we want to talk about the new MRR system and how we've used a really simple 4-week rhythm to get off the income roller coaster. So let's dive right in.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the idea. If you're like, your revenue has got the vibes of a roller coaster and you're like, I don't love that, love a little bit more stability, I'd love a little bit more predictability. If you're like, it'd be awesome to be getting those Stripe, pings every week and then every day.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And if you're kind of banging your head against the wall, like there's got to be a simpler way. Like I'm working so hard, or I'm doing so many things, I'm juggling so many balls, I've got so many kind of things at a time. There's got to be a simpler way to get to my revenue goal and also not work more. So have a really kind of light and simple business. That's literally everything we're going to talk about. It's kind of the nut that we've been trying to crack for years that we have, and we're excited to share it in this video. And at any point, if you're like, this sounds awesome, I'd love your guys' help to install the new MRR to get off the revenue roller coaster, then there's information below this video where you can see that. But let's hop into kind of the big idea and what the new MRR actually is, starting with the monthly rhythm concept.
Yeah. So for monthly rhythm, it's a 4-week system, and we started running this on our own business when we realized every single month, we were building so much new stuff from scratch. It was like, hey, we're going to do a launch this month, and we got to build a new sales page. And we've got to create a new offer, and we've got to post on social media, and we've got to send emails. And every month just felt like climbing a mountain. And so instead, we looked back at a track record of 4 years of running our business and said, what are the things that have worked to bring in cash? And what if we found the 4 simplest things that have worked to bring in cash and just literally repeated them every single month? So we weren't creating anything from scratch. We weren't having to do big launches anymore. We weren't needing to come up with new marketing systems or sign up for new marketing tools. Of course, we weren't going to do sales calls. It just doesn't work for us. We only work 3 days a week, so we can't fill up our calendar with sales calls. It just doesn't make sense. And we weren't constantly just stacking stuff in our business, more complexity, more offers, more products. So let's look at like what those actual 4-week, 4 cash generating tasks are.
Yeah. Okay, so week 1. This is, arguably our favorite week. Well, actually week 2 is, but it starts in week 1 because we love workshops. If you're new to our world, one of the things that we've done successfully for years and years and years are host kind of really short bite-sized workshops. We call them mini workshops. But this is week 1 of the monthly rhythm. The idea is we're going to announce this month's live workshop, which naturally has urgency and scarcity baked into it because it's a live workshop that's happening only once. But it's 60 to 90-ish minutes. Sometimes it goes to 2 hours if we want to have a more lengthy kind of Q&A element to it. But for the most part, it's really, really short, 90 minutes or less. And it's also an impulse purchase price. This is the kind of one of the unlocks, is detaching from how valuable something is at like what you're sharing in this workshop, and therefore it should be $2, $3, $1,000, and just saying, what is the impulse purchase price for my audience for this workshop? Is it $20? Is it $50? For us, it tends to be like $30 to $50 is kind of the sweet spot for, you don't need to budget for it. You don't need to talk to a partner. You don't need to do any logistical things. It's just like, yeah, I'll attend that workshop. That looks helpful. And then it's going to follow one of our 4 proven types. Again, we've been doing workshops for many years, and we've cracked the code on what are the 4 types that, 1, people will sign up for.
Yeah.
And 2, you can actually deliver on the promise you're making, because the last thing, this rhythm breaks apart if you're selling things you can't fulfill the promise around. So we're going to start with those 4 P's here in the workshops.
Yep. A Sell It With Simple sales page. We literally duplicate ours from the last month, change a few lines of copy with our simple template, and it's ready to go. It takes an hour. We use our Thank You Profit page to bring in bonus sales. We start with early bird pricing. Again, we found some really simple things that create more cash flow with the workshop. And again, it's so much easier than other types of stuff that we've launched because, again, it has that built-in scarcity because it's coming up. There's a live date. and it's so inexpensive. So it filters for buyers, like it finds the buyers in our audience or community in a really lightweight way where we can send emails that are a couple of sentences long or posts that are a couple of sentences long and get a ton of signups.
Yeah, you have buyers on your list right now.
Yeah.
They've either bought something from you or they want to buy something from you and they haven't been given this type of offer, which is an easy yes, live workshop where they get something done based on one of those 4 Ps. Okay, so that's week 1. Week 2, we actually deliver the workshop. So week 1 is all about like announcing it. Like we're doing this thing, it's happening next week. And the next week is week 2 and like, okay, we're doing the thing. So you're going to let people know ahead of time that an offer is coming. And there's like several different ways, I think 5 or 6 different ways you can do that so that you're not having that like awkward kind of moment at the end of the workshop where it's like the first time they're hearing how you can help them beyond this, 60-minute workshop. You're going to host it live. This is one of the things that makes the rhythm work and work so well is it's a forcing function for people to show up, right? It's a date on the calendar. They're not buying something that they're just going to never look at. It's a live workshop on this date. And it's a forcing function for you because when you show up live, like there's just this element that is magical that doesn't come across in recorded content. At the end of the workshop, you're going to make an invite. So in addition to ahead of time saying, hey, an invite's coming, at the end of the workshop, you're going to make an invite. Then you're going to answer all the questions you possibly can because this is, in a sea of AI-based offers or in a sea of pseudo experts, your ability to look at someone in the eye and answer their question in a live setting is magical. And so you're going to spend as much time as is required. For us, we'll do an FAQ at the end of the workshop or Q&A at the end of the workshop, and it's 30 minutes. And those 30 minutes, we're literally connecting with people on a human level that we can't do in recorded content or we can't do in a non kind of live workshop setting. So it's a great way to handle objections. It's a great way to share your enthusiasm. It's a great way to just be a human interacting with other humans. And then here's the other part of this week. There's a whole system where you've got this live workshop. How can you turn it around to an evergreen asset as quickly as possible? Here's the fun thing. We hosted our live workshop yesterday.
Yeah.
We finished at around, I think like 4. By 9 o'clock the next morning, the replay's done. And it's broken up into sections. We've used AI to transcribe. We've used AI to summarize the lessons. We've got great thumbnails. We've got an implementation book. We've got all the things literally the next day. Like there's no reason that it has to take months or in some cases many months to turn that around. And the cool thing about that is then you can email your list, and anyone who couldn't come to the live workshop, they now get the instant access version because the momentum is still and the excitement is still there. And for anyone who bought a ticket, couldn't come to the live workshop, now they can actually watch it while you're still making the upgrade invites.
Yeah. And you hinted at this, that this is our favorite week. And I just think it really shows, like you said, when everyone's doing AI or how can I automate everything? If you're willing to do a live workshop for 1 hour once a month, it's like an instant way to stand out. And it really is a shortcut to getting people into your main offer, whether that's a membership or a course or a program, because instead of needing to do a ton of marketing or a huge launch or this big long sales process, people just get to spend an hour experiencing like, oh, you're helpful. Oh, I connect with your personality. I got this light bulb moment that no one's ever talked about that before. And so it makes the next piece so easy.
Which we kind of already hinted at because in week 2, you will be enrolling some people to your core offer simply because they were at the workshop and
What the end?
like, yeah, I want in. But the following week is actually dedicated to intentional invitations. So many times we see folks who have a great core offer not making invitations to it. They'll do the big launch and then it'll just kind of like hang out there. And it's like, well, there are people in your audience. Again, just like there's people in your audience right now who are buyers, there's people in your audience right now who need more access to you, who need your full program, who want to join your membership, whatever it is that's kind of your core offer. So this week 3 in the monthly rhythm is all about upgrading people to that. So you'll have fewer sales because it's much higher in price point, right? It could be $100 a month membership. It could be a $10,000 coaching program. It's going to be somewhere in there. But what you will have is a higher revenue number because of the increased price. And so all we do this week is we identify people in our audience who are likely to upgrade based on the actions they've taken, based on the previous conversations we've had with them, and based on their Like, did they come to the workshop or not? So that's what week 3 is.
And then week 4 is a simple payday campaign. So we have found in our own business, and pretty much everyone we talk to that has actually been a legit expert for years, is you've built a ton of awesome resources along the way. You made a recording for a private client. You created a worksheet. You put together a training and hosted it once in 2021 and have never done anything with it. And so you've got this collection of stuff sitting on Google Drive that could help people, but it's not being used in any way. And you might not want to run a big launch for it or do a crazy promotion. And so our payday campaigns, we've got super simple templates for them so that you can put them together in a couple days. But the basic concept is you take something you've already made, put together a super simple sign up page, make it available for 2 to 3 days, which makes it A, really lightweight on you. It's not a long thing. And B, it gives people a reason to grab it really quickly. And it's a great way to have a simple cash flow in week 4 of this rhythm without needing to create anything new and without needing to deliver anything. Like you're literally just sending an instant access training, resource, audio, recording, template, PDF, something that people can access on their own. So it's not adding any calls to your calendar. It's not adding any client delivery to your plate. It's just a super simple way to make use of assets you've already created.
Yeah, and assets that serve, again, just like a workshop does, something like this serves as a great entry point to how you actually help your people. So if you're selling one template this month and you've got 34 more in your membership, it's a great way for someone to have that little bite-sized sample and be like, wait a minute, this was actually like super helpful. I need all the other ones. I'm going to hop over to the membership in that example. Okay, so those are the first 4 weeks. Now, some months have 5 weeks. And what do? You do nothing. You just
Boom. Easy.
At the end of the day, you will have payment plans for your core offer. You will have payment plans. Perhaps you have a subscription-based offer already. Like, the idea here is that will naturally fill in those days. So there are days in the month where we're not making an offer and we're still generating sales because of that, including these rest weeks. But here's what happens at the end of this. So when you have the monthly rhythm and you run through it once, it becomes an iterative process where you improve versus start from scratch. So they become flywheels that literally just get better and more efficient over time. So you've got your workshop flywheel, the idea of like all the assets that you're using, your sales page, your thank you profit page, your show up emails, your invitation post workshop email, all of that becomes things that you can reuse over time and make better versus starting from scratch. Same thing with your upgrades. You're going to find a mechanism, and you may already have it, that is this works if I just invite people to this document and I'm available via DMs, I can make sales to my core offer. If I invite people to this sales page and I send these 6 emails, I move 20% of workshop attendees to my core offer. And again, you just become, it's more about efficiency and leverage than starting from scratch. And same thing with the payday campaign. Cool thing about turning your workshops into evergreen assets is after a certain time, those workshops can then become payday campaigns. So you're literally creating leveraged assets that you can sell over and over again, but they're all done through windows of time that have natural urgency and scarcity baked into them.
Yeah, I
Everything.
remember when we used to go into a launch and I would spend 15 hours writing sales page copy, writing launch emails. We would do a live training. I remember hosting challenges or sprints. We'd do daily live streams and have worksheets and all of the things. And then it was over. And we never used those things ever again, those things that we poured so much time and energy into. And this is the exact opposite. Every single piece in our business gets reused and brings in more revenue in the future. And each month gets simpler and simpler and simpler and simpler to infinity and beyond.
Yeah. And here's how the revenue stacks up, because the idea here is we want to be making sales every single week. So week 1, the revenue that's coming in is from the new workshop announcement. Hey, we're doing this new workshop. It's on this topic. You can grab your early bird price. So over the course of those 5 days, we've got people buying workshop tickets. Week 2, we still are selling workshop tickets because the workshop is happening. So we have the people who are like, I want to come, and they've just been delaying it, or I want to access the replay in the future, and they buy it before. Then you also now stack in the replay purchase, so people who just want the replay can buy it, and you start getting early upgrades to your core offer. Week 3 is all about upgrades. So you have people upgrading to your core offer during week 3, and then week 4, it's your payday campaign. So literally every single week, you are generating revenue. And you're not doing it through like crazy shenanigans and crazy marketing. You're literally just leveraging either assets you've already created or the simple ways to get people to sign up and take action, i.e. something that's like live versus on demand. So this is the concept. Monthly, repeatable revenue. Can you do the same 4 things every single month that get easier and easier and easier over time? That's what we've figured out. That's exactly what we've just shared with you in this presentation. Okay, here's the result.
There it is. You generate revenue every single week, and soon, once it stacks a little bit every single day, you end up getting paid to get clients for your core offer, because your workshop, which is the main thing that you're using to naturally upgrade people without sales calls or a huge pitch, the workshop's really doing the heavy lifting for you. You're also getting paid to host that workshop. Then you repeat it every single month. So all that work that you put in to do it the first time gets reused and recycled, and it gets better and easier every single time. So it gives you freedom to have more life outside of your business. It's predictable. So every month, it's like you've got that mental freedom of not needing to come up with stuff from scratch and just knowing you're going to do 4 things that work to bring in money. And it's simple. You don't need anything new. You don't need any wild new marketing hack. It's just simple things that work stacked on top of each other.
So this is what we do every month. This is what we help our clients do every month. It's the same thing we just talked about here. And so if you want our help to install this in your business, literally give you every template you need so you're never starting from scratch. Like your first rhythm, you've got all of the assets that you need written by Sarah, the templates. You've got the exact framework on how to upgrade people. You've got all the payday campaigns, depending on if you want to do kind of a flash sale, a retiring product, a price increase sequence. You get all the templates for that. Well, again, there's more information below. We'd love to help you. We'd love to help you go from that revenue roller coaster to predictable revenue by following the simple 4-week